Lux, it has to be out of the game. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a Syndra as well. As we are seeing on our screen though, Anivia and Singe taken out. Copenhagen Wolves don't want to go against Frog against Anivia. And the Singe, which we've seen Godbro play it actually quite a bit. I've never been particularly impressed with it, but actually I think the last game he played it, we did phenomenal.
Yeah.
So a worthy ban to take out. You know, EG's not really a fan to go up against Singes. Singes?
But yeah, we saw yesterday the Singe from Godbro, and that's obviously what that ban is against. Elise going to be taken out here by Copenhagen Wolves against Evil Geniuses. Now, you know, Elise is one of those that can pretty much go anywhere on the map. Crepo, we heard talking about Elise as a support.
Yeah.
There's so many buttons to press. That was his why he likes playing Elise so much. And Kazik's going to be banned out here by EG.
That was one of my favorite quotes from him. There's so many buttons. But yeah, he's actually playing pretty good, at least in the bot lane. Even Thresh banned out against him, so there's 2 targeted bans at him, but we still have a lot of champions open that Bjergsen can play. Got Lux open, Nidalee, Syndra as well. I would expect one of those to get banned out because you don't want to give Bjergsen a comfortable champion, or he can really help carry his team.
So what will be the final ban here? Kind of surprised that Wolves banned Thresh out first. That obviously tells me that they didn't want to put a first pick onto that Thresh. Kassadin going to be the last ban again towards Bjergsen. We saw him picking up quadra kill after quadra kill with Kassadin up until now here in the European LCS. And Copenhagen Wolves then with their first pick. Going to take their time about this one, but as I said, that Thresh ban from them kind of tells me that they've got something very specific planned here for their first choice.
And also not to mention they left Lux available and they haven't picked it up as their first champion. So it seems like they're trying to bait
Zed, yeah.
They're trying to bait EG into something, taking away that Zed. It looks like if they do lock it in from Wicked, it should be a smart play, to be honest.
And EG here see that the Jarvan is available. Renekton, which is Wicked's go-to champion here in Season 3, will be locked in there. Not much discussion needed.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see if EG follows this up with a Kayle pick like we saw last time with SK. Completely shut down that Zed, and worked out really well for them. But Wolves, with their next 2 picks, they still have Bjergsen available. I mean, I'm surprised. We didn't see Lux picked up from EG either. So it looks like both teams are really hesitant on exactly what they want to go for. And taking away that Jarvan from Svenskeren, who's been playing phenomenal with Jarvan, which is really going to hurt him here. But it looks like he will be sitting on this Xin. And to be honest, it's not a bad champion, but it's kind of fallen out of favor over the past couple of weeks.
Well, if you look at the 4 picks here, if that Xin is locked in there, I mean, that's 4 very much go in and get it done champions.
Go in and get it done. Yeah. And also, Xin is one of those champions that can knock them away. So if we see Jarvan come in, if Xin is anywhere near, obviously, that Cataclysm, we can knock him out of it and protect whoever he needs to, which makes me think that we might see a high mobility AD carry come out of the test. Probably Ezreal, because it is the test, so let's not forget that. But also, oh wow, as I say that, he goes for Varus instead. So he's going to need quite a bit of protection here against that Jarvan and that Renekton into the back line. But we still have AP Nidalee available if they want to go for that. But with that Zed, it leads me to believe they want to go for high bursty champions, and it looks like Bjergsen actually will be playing that in the mid lane.
Now we'll see then what Evil Geniuses go for this time around. Not going to be a Teemo.
I'm knocking on wood, I hope it is.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to see it just for a bit of a change here, but definitely, I'd say not going to be the case. 99.9% sure of that one. But obviously we have Misfortune open, which Yellow Pete has been enjoying a lot of recently.
Yeah, and he's actually really likes playing that aggressive kind of Misfortune on top of that. Crepo actually has played Alistar against them, and I believe it was if I look at my notes, week number 4, and it actually worked out quite well. He's always been a fan of Alistar, but ever since everyone started picking Taric as a support, he kind of started to use it again since it's a really hard counter to him. And looks like they might be going for an Alistar Graves lane, which we saw Candy Panda last game. Was he 9-0-5 or something like that?
It was lots and lots.
Exactly.
That's basically what he had in his score. Obviously, was the MVP. Chosen overlane on the analysis desk after that one, and rightly so. Looks like Copenhagen Wolves may add the Lulu into this Varus, which they picked up in the last round of picks. So you can see Deficio explaining his choices behind that one maybe, and trying to figure out exactly what the Wolves are going to go with for their final choice. Obviously there's a Zed in there as well. It could be top or middle lane, so Wolves could again add a top or middle into that as well.
To me, it looks like they're going to go for another AD champion, because if you're going to run Zed, he most likely would be in that mid lane. I don't really expect him to go against Renekton, and that leaves you open to just a full AD team against a Jarvan who has an Arma Aura from his standard. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they will go for that. But, I mean, we saw Bjergsen on Zed earlier, played outstanding. I mean, it was just ridiculous. His positioning was always perfect, so I would expect that to go on him, and I don't think Godbro plays any AP champions in that top lane minus Singed, which is banned out.
And it's going to be a Shen coming in there in the end for that top lane. So it will be a mid lane Zed, Xin Zhao in the jungle, and Varus Lulu. What are EG going to finish off with them? We've got that Jarvan for, I mean, we say for the jungle, but we've seen Froggen play Jarvan in the middle lane as well. Wicked most likely going to have that Renekton for the top, and we have the Alistair Graves combo coming out of Yellow Pete and Crepo. What are your thoughts here, Jason? Lux obviously wasn't banned and will be locked straight in there. So Froggen, you leave it open for him, and he showed with Anivia that he'll quite happily take the chance to play it.
That's a really brave move on his part, because he's going up against Bjergsen unless they decide to lane switch him eventually. But when Bjergsen hits 6, he's just going to be able to dominate Froggen. But then again, we know Froggen has been an amazing Lux player, so he'll be able to keep his range, be able to harass him early on. But if Svenskeren gives Bjergsen any sort of help, he's just going to carry this game. Yeah,
and that's exactly what we heard from Froggen, you know, stop Bjergsen really getting things rolling. We've seen what happens to a Zed, or what happens to everyone else, I should probably say, when that Zed does get snowballing forward.
Very true. And I mean, the thing is, we have Copenhagen Wolves, they have a squishy Zed, they have a squishy Varus and Lulu, but they at least have the pseudo-tankiness of that Lulu ultimate, so if anyone does get light binding and they pop their full combo on him, the Lulu ultimate should keep him alive long enough.
Oh, there you can see on your screens, Copenhagen Wolves looking very, very concentrated. As I said, a win here in this match against Evil Geniuses would propel them to the dizzy heights of 5th position, which is somewhere that the Wolves have not been since the start of the season, where I think they would have been around there in alphabetical order.
I think they were 5th because of how they qualified for LCS qualifiers.
That's true, yeah.
And that's the only time they were 5th place.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So they could get back up to that, as I said, the dizzy heights. There's EG, who are currently fighting to get up in towards that top 3, or more importantly, the top 2 position to guarantee the safety of the next half of the season.
And I'm curious to see if we're going to have any sort of level 1 action, because we have an Alistair. That Q out of him is just so devastating, especially follow up with a light binding, then a Renekton stun. They have that potential to really go in and be super aggressive. The Wolves, on the other hand, don't really have that. That's the problem. They can defend most likely a buff, but if EG really wants to commit to it, they will take something away.
So here we go, then let's jump into game. It is, of course, Copenhagen Wolves taking on Evil Geniuses here, with Copenhagen Wolves on the blue side. And what are we expecting, if anything, Jason, at level 1?
Oh, it looks like EG will be the one to actually go for something here, like I was mentioning before. I mean, we have them already heading down towards this bomb side of the map. And it looks like they will try to go for red, or at least maybe go for a kill here. But we do have the test, luckily, in that tri-bush. We'll be able to spot them coming in. It depends how quickly or how much they lead this light binding.
Well, let's see. Alistair going to work in there. Crepo does have that flash available, so that opens up a flash pulverize right at the start. There is the light bind. It's actually going to land onto the Test. He could be in trouble. There is the flash pulverize. Test flashes away, but he's exhausted as well. He's going to go down, and it is the cow that picks up first blood.
Evil Genius is perfect play right by them to lead with that light binding. A little bit slow on the reaction to go for it, but in the end they get it anyways. They get Test's flash out. They blow a couple flashes themselves, but you know what? They're going to take that, getting first blood over to Crepo. Not ideal, but you'll take it any day.
Yeah, and that's only going to mean more support in a way for Yellow Pete as well.
To support that much harder.
It's going to be supporting that much harder, more wards, better items earlier on, and that is just the start they were looking for. All 4 men of EG that didn't get the kill picked up the assist as well, which is an important thing there. You saw EG thinking about going home, but they've decided to stay around. And you can see the ward coverage already. Pink ward by the Wraith bush, pink ward by the red buff, and a ward down in the bottom bush and in that Wraith bush as well. So they've got perfect vision on that side. And there you see, leaving 2 Wraiths behind to prevent the reset of the camp.
And the problem with that first one ended up doing for Copenhagen Wolves is that the Test has to be so passive now. He cannot overextend when there's an Alistair and a Jarvan who could just combo you and CC you to hell and pick up another kill, as we do have them finally heading down towards that bottom lane. We did have the Wolves smart play by Svenskeren to actually invade and take away that red buff, and we'll see if he actually decides to make a play off of it.
Yeah, but as you can see, EG left behind the small lizards there at that red buff as well. So it's not going to be until Svenskeren comes onto that bottom side of the map that he sees and then finishes that one off, which is going to delay the spawning of that one as well. So overall, a very solid level 1 year again from Evil Geniuses. We talked about it earlier on in the day about how much they like to study level 1 and try and counter what the team they're playing against traditionally does in the early stages.
And all that hard work proved right, or just worked out for them, getting that first blood, give them a nice advantage into this game. As see Bjergsen taking a lot of damage already in the middle, and I'm curious to see if Froggen is actually running AD runes yet again, like he did on his Anivia earlier, to really pressure his opponent in lane, just go for that early bit of action and hopefully an early kill.
Well, he started off with the cloth armor, 3 health pots and 2 mana pots in there as well, so obviously wants to stay safe as he can in that early stage. Zed and Shen both running those red elixirs right at the start of it, which we saw actually in the last game, what a difference it can make, that extra boost in health before you die.
Oh yeah, it definitely can. And now Xin actually is spotted in his jungle, and I would be surprised to see EG go for an engage on the bottom lane. You have Alistair who's level 2, and knowing Xin is there, you'll be able to engage, get a little bit of harass down, and back out in time if you need to, but looks like instead they're gonna just be passive.
I see that Froggen, I mean, we know him obviously for his Anivia play the most, but we've seen how devastating he can be with Lux as well, and I still think before Bjergsen certainly hit 6, and probably even after that as well, once the lasers start coming out, he needs to be very, very careful. As we see the Ignite being put down there, Bjergsen turns it around, Froggen losing a lot of health, he levels up as it's ticking away, and the shield comes out. Froggen, my god, that level up saving him completely.
Here comes Snoopy though.
Yeah, Snoopy coming in from the side. He has a flash available, but can he get it onto Bjergsen? Bjergsen actually does have a flash as well. Zed, obviously a slippy character to lock down. Doesn't happen.
And just wow, Froggen throwing out that E just to kill the minions, just enough to hit that level 4 where he ended up taking his shield, where he most certainly would have died in the end. But so that was a great turnaround by Bjergsen. That damage he put out was just ridiculous, and that has to give some sort of fear in Froggen's eyes.
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's a dangerous situation to be thanking the gods that he leveled up at that precise moment there to keep him alive, and threw that shield on himself straight afterwards as well. Really interesting start there in that middle lane, and it's going to give Zed a CS lead here once Froggen does come back into lane, and there we have a pause. It seems to be something with Froggen's PC, which hopefully will be sorted out here.
Apparently his audio's not, or his mic's not working right now, so they can't really hear him when he's talking, which is kind of a big deal. You kind of need to get that fixed.
He's like, guys, I'm dying. Oh wait, it's all right, I'm good. But nobody heard him. Which didn't matter because he survived, and that's the important part. So apparently it's fixed. Froggen has indeed plugged his microphone into the PC now, so we should be all good.
I hear that helps when trying to talk, is having that plugged in. But still, I mean, little pauses like this can really throw off your game. We did have a little bit of momentum over on EG's side, but still, Wolves, anything can really happen here. They're on such a nice streak right now, and they really want to keep that going.
So here we go then, back in game. Let's see how things are across the board. To be honest, the CS is pretty even. Obviously, Alistair there, 1,300 to 900 gold. That's what he's got, obviously, from that first blood. It's allowed him a little bit more in terms of wards and what have you coming in there. There was a pink ward put down by Deficio in the side of the bush there, just so they can weed out this ward. That's going to be money wasted for Krepo.
And Joe, I'm looking at the lane matchups right now, and you have the top lane, the Renekton Shen. It should be pretty much just a headbutting lane where no one's really going to kill each other. But as we saw in the mid lane, that's really where it's going to happen. Because if you look at the bottom, you know, Krepo's being really passive. Snoopy, in the meantime, is coming around for a gank on this top side, but I really don't think they can lock him down.
There's not a ward down in there at all for Godbro, so that could become very, very dangerous. They are going to get the knock up onto him as well. Can they get the finisher? No, not quite. Godbro gets back underneath the turret, but Wicked and Snoopy going to keep going on this one. Godbro, is he going to stay under the turret? No, he's actually backed off, but he came back in there. That could be really dangerous. Oh, he's going to taunt away there from the knock up of Jarvan. Nicely done from Godbro, patient.
And that was a great timing by Snoopy as well, because they had that mini wave pushing. They wanted to get in there. If they weren't going to kill him, still they wanted to deny him a huge amount of CS, which they currently did. I believe it was about 2.5 waves at this point. And the jungler wasn't really in sight to help them. So overall, it still worked out extremely well, even though they didn't get the kill.
Yeah, Godbro picking himself up a ward. He might need that here to stop Snoopy collapsing on him. But look at that damage onto Froggen. Half of his health gone, and he's going to go in for this one. He'll flash away by Froggen. Can Bjergsen finish him off? Yes, he can. And that is the danger in this bottom lane as well. Flashes being burnt there by Deficio and the Tess. The exhaust was used by Deficio, so a lot burned in that bottom lane, considering it was just for the exhaust out of Krepo.
And that was just such a ridiculous play in the mid lane. Krepo, he still has that flash up, though, by both Copenhagen Wolves in that bottom lane not having it up. They could go for a very easy gank if Snoopy wants to come in from the lane. Bjergsen, you cannot get him snowballed right now because he's just going to decimate Froggy. He's going to keep him out of this game. Not to mention Yellow Pete on top of that. But Wolves go for a 2-man push on the top side. Going to deny a little bit of CS over to Wicked, who is coming back into lane from the bottom side.
Yeah, he's like, well, you chased me out towards base, I'll just come around and get those minions on the way through. But Svenskeren and Godbro, actually Godbro's tanking up here, they're going to go for it. Nice slice away from the taunt though.
And good reaction out of Stupid right now. He's actually headed over towards Dragon. 4 members of EG are going to collapse onto this, and when the jungler is in the top lane, if Wicked can hold on to that turret, EG's going to come out huge with this.
Yeah, already down to half health as the fallback ping put down on the top side of the map, but EG are going to take Dragon #1 of this game. Obviously, no turrets taken up until now, but EG are going to be up by 1,300 gold after that.
And I'm looking at this, that's going to really help Froggen to get back in the game. I mean, he has a Seeker's arm guard after he did back, so that armor is going to really help him out. Bjergsen wasn't able to pick up a Brutalizer just yet, but still, with that Vamp Step, he's going to be able to sustain quite a bit in that lane. But I think if Froggen missteps just once right here, he's going to easily pick up another kill because both their flashes are on simultaneous cooldowns. So they know when each other's flash is going to be up, but Bjergsen has that advantage with the mobility off his W.
What do you think to that Lux pick into, you know, Zed's in there?
It's Froggen, so I'm assuming it's the correct idea to go to. I mean, if he feels confident enough, then why not go for it? He has a little bit of trouble in the lane phase, as we've been seeing, but if he gets any sort of help now from Snoopy, they can shut him down, and they can allow Froggen to become very strong as the game progresses.
Bjergsen being given that blue buff here, so he is going to become more of a hassle. He does have that Ignite up and available as well. And we'll see if he decides to go aggressive straight away here in towards Froggen. CS 10 advantage for Zed in the top lane. Wicked got an advantage over Godbro. The AD carries, though, bang on even at this point. Only that assist really separating them.
And that's kind of weird because Krepo's been playing so passive with this Ouster this entire time. They haven't really gone in for any sort of engagement except that one we saw at the bot lane, and he was able to blow both of their flashes. They usually can't go in for it again, but Svenskeren is coming in from the bottom side of the lane. He won't be spotted, and with that red buff, they could potentially pick up a kill here. He is level 6, so he could knock them back into his own team if he needs.
Well, let's see how this one's going to go down. Svenskeren waiting patiently in that bottom side. The lane pretty much frozen at this stage, but now both teams got those siege minions in there. Krepo on top of Ward, and as he puts one down there, Svenskeren goes in. Where's the knockup? Not going to come. Krepo forced to use his ultimate, and they stay safe, but ultimate burn, flash burn there out of Krepo.
Yeah, that does really help them. It makes it so the Test can really farm at this lane right now because he was always afraid of Krepo just flashing into him and comboing him into the air and then getting blown up by Yellow Pete. So that really gives him a little bit of security. As you see, Wicked getting taunted under turret, but still, it's just head bashing up there. There really shouldn't be any kills happening.
No, well, not kills of champions at least, but the turret is very low there as Wicked takes a turret hit. It was burning from the Ignite as well. He will be forced to just back away from that one. Snoopy coming into this top lane to just try and control things there. Is a ward down by Godbro. Perfect position to cover from the river and that tribush.
And just as we were mentioning earlier about Godbro not having a ward there and ended up getting ganked, he put it right there. I was expecting Stupid to come around from the blue buff, but he did, or the blue bush, but he didn't anyways. We see the bot lane, Krepo getting very low.
Yeah, there you go. No flash available for Krepo. You see the flash used there by Yellow Pete to get to safety. Had barrier as well, and that's just capitalization on the current situation coming out of Copenhagen Wolves. They saw Krepo had no flash from that last encounter. Svenskeren walks away, comes back in, and they can completely dominate him with that.
And potentially take the turret on top of that because no one on EG is really there to help defend it. We see the Wolves lose their top turret because of that aggression, that presence that Snoopy's been giving them. But it looks like they will trade 1-for-1 here as Bjergsen needs to get back to this middle lane right now because we have a 3-man push from EG happening there.
Yeah, I think they could have it away here, to be honest with them. With 3 there, they should have a good time of this one. They have lost that bottom turret, but honestly, bottom turret in a kill on the support for outer in the middle, outer in the top lane. Worth it, Jason?
I don't think so, because I know how much we talked, Joe, about that middle turrets and how much map awareness or map control they give you. And whenever you lose that middle turret, which is always the key lane to keep, you lose so much control of your jungle. And we know how well EG is at controlling your jungle and really strangling you in terms of income, which we're seeing them do right now. They took the race away, and I wouldn't be surprised if they keep doing that because they've already warded towards the blue.
Bjergsen could be in trouble here. Actually, well, just dash away onto that top side of the river. Wicked was trying to get in there for the stun, but Bjergsen too smart for any of that stuff, and he will walk away. He's actually headed into the jungle there. I wanted to keep tabs on the ward, obviously was already down there. But in terms of items, they're starting to develop a little bit now. That Seeker's Arm Guard earlier, obviously, for Lux with the tier now, compared to the Brutalizer Vamp Scepter of Zed. Between the AD carries, both got a BF Sword, both got a Vamp Scepter, both got the Doran's Blade, and both got the boots.
Yeah, pretty even on those AD carries. The mid lane is pretty even, ideally, in terms of their build. We do have Dragon Comp at about 1 and 20 seconds. We have a couple of pink wards already picked up, one on Frog and one on Crepo, so I wouldn't be surprised for them to actually go for it here very shortly. But they might lose a turret off this, and Wolves might be able to get a position to stop it since they still have some time to get there.
Yeah, all of EG pretty much back to base there. Lux, Renekton, Jarvan not in a position to stop that one from happening, and with Shen and Zed up there, actually they've back to where they're going to leave the minions to do the deed for them. With that stack there, they should be able to have that away as well.
And Joe, this is going to be huge right here. This fight, this really has to, because Bjergsen, he's so close to level 11 right now. He's pretty much a full level, actually almost full 2 levels ahead of Froggen at this point, because he was able to kill him early on. If he hits 11 and goes in on Froggen, he will die, and then they could turn it into a dragon. They might be able to get this mill turret as well.
Yeah, and he won't just die, he'll be absolutely destroyed, I think is what happened to him there. He does have that Ninja large rod in there, so needs to get those lasers off as he goes. Wicked and Godbro just having a bit of an exchange in the top, and Godbro doing a good job of just pushing up that lane. We saw what he can do with Singed earlier on. There is a ward in middle there, so that is giving EG the vision once they've taken down the outer turret.
Well, and Bjergsen, they actually just saw him back, and Dragon's up in 2 seconds. They could rush it if they want to, because he isn't in position to stop this. But it looks like they're not really going to go for it too quickly, as it's a very tense moment in the game where if Wolves get a couple more kills, they can really start to snowball this game. But if EG gets it with Lux, they can do the same.
Yep, Wolves moving in from the backside, and look at that, Deficio getting caught by a full load there. But not really enough to take him down, but here they are, standing on top of a ward. And EG have got their position on lockdown. They're going to walk straight in on top of Crepo. Bjergsen gets knocked up, and look at that, he is destroyed. That is a valuable kill, as we are going to see Jarvan get in there. Where's the focus? It's a little bit all over the place, but they decide on Godbro in the end. He will flash over towards that top side. He's going to take a couple of turret hits. Snoopy going to get the knock up. There is a light binding, and he is a dead man.
And that was a huge misstep by Copenhagen Wolves. You cannot face check bushes, especially when there's an Alistar on the enemy team. And they had Lux's ultimate down. They had the advantage in the team fights, and they weren't able to capitalize on it because of great ward placement out of Crepo.
Yeah, bad idea to be face checking in there. Svensson goes back and says, well, we'll have to do with the red buff for now. And instantly you see there more wards being picked up by Copenhagen Wolves, surprisingly enough, knowing that they can't afford to do that anymore. But that is another Dragon for Evil Geniuses. 21,600 gold to 19.2 thousand. 2-2 in turrets, 3-2 in kills. And that kill spread for them, one with Renekton, one with Graves, obviously one with Alice, so that was first blood. On the other side, Zed got one and Xin Zhao got one.
And because of that fight, we had Froggen catch up in level. He's actually surpassed Bjergsen right there. With the Niselar Rod, which you mentioned, it gives him so much more damage. We saw how low that Deficio got with that full combo from Froggen. I think with this Niselar Rod, they might be able to burst him down completely, or at least commit that Lulu ultimate onto himself, which would be huge for EG in these fights.
So, with Dragon out now, the middle outer turret is still there for EG. Is that a possible next target here for the Wolves?
It very well could be. Knowing that Froggen's in this bottom lane right now, if Bjergsen does head middle, they could probably go for a push as long as you keep him there. We do have actually 2 members of EG trying to come down here. I'm not sure if they're going to try to go for a kill on him under turret. They even have the damage for it at this point. It looks like Crepo will come either way.
Yeah, they got plenty of vision down here as well. They're covering around about the halfway line of that jungle. They've got vision completely along the line, and like you said, not sure that Froggen and Crepo between them would have the damage there to take out a Shen, who has that giant spell, a Doran shield, and the chain vest in there at this point.
It looks like Wolves took a page out of the Fnatic's playbook here. They have Bjergsen split pushing. They have Shen to help split push, also help group up and defend. They have Lulu to help run away if they need to. But how well they can execute it is really the question here.
Yeah, they're definitely... it's hard to compare them to Fnatic, I think we can call it that. I mean, Wolves have shown some real promise in play, but they're not quite that oiled machine that Fnatic have proved to be over the last weeks and over the last couple of days as well. Some big results from them coming out. But we move into a bit more of a stagnant period, 16 minutes and 50 seconds in. Locket of the Iron Solari is finished for Xin Zhao. There is the Zhonya's Hourglass as well, finish for Froggen.
And speaking of the Zhonya's Hourglass, that item picked up so early on is so detrimental to the Wolves, because they have the advantage in the fights if they wanted to go for him. But with that picked up, they no longer can burst Froggen down unless they get some sort of CC, like a knock-up to prevent him, or a silence before he can use it. But he can zone his Hourglass, the ultimate, that actually comes out as the actual damage part of it, and then stay alive. That forces everyone else to go for Yellow Pete now.
Here is a 4-man push coming in towards that bottom lane. Wiki going to stop the pushing from Bjergsen in that top lane, and that will be EG regaining the turret lead. Bjergsen got the blue buff on, and you know what? EG might keep going with this one.
They pretty much easily can. Without Bjergsen there, who's their main damage source at this point, they have the ability to, not to mention, if you get Krepo locked up with that Varus ultimate, you can just ulti out of it and still get that engage on if they want to. And Froggen is level 12 right now, does have a 58-second cooldown on his ultimate, so it is up fairly quickly, but Bjergsen, he could make a play on the middle turret and make EG back, which looks like he could be poised to do.
Yeah, the problem there being that the minions need to be pushed out first, and that's probably enough time for EG to come back around and force Bjergsen to head back up north. Actually, they're signaling for him to fall back there. Bjergsen actually is going to get knocked up here. This could be a bit of a bait from the Wolves. We see Shen coming in there, Stan United used, but he is instantly going to be knocked back, and this is not a good fight, in my opinion, for Copenhagen Wolves. They may get Froggen. He is going to be Zhonya, finished up there by Spencer, 1-for-1 in the end. Snoopy going very low. Flash comes in from the test. He manages to pick up the kill, but he will be the focus here for Graves and Renekton. Double kill coming down for Yellow Pete. Can they get any more? Zed is gone away already. Lulu is gone, and it will end up being a 2-for-2.
That's a really cool fight happening right there. Froggen survived with a sliver of life. He got his Zhonya's off just in time for the Zed ultimate to actually proc right there. The test getting a little bit cocky, overextending just a little bit. Wicked wasn't there during the entire fight, which really concerns me if the Wolves could beat them in a head-on-head fight at this point.
Well, Wicked has gone back down to this bottom lane now, and Bjergsen definitely can't underestimate him at this point. I mean, he's got a level on Wicked at burst potential high, but you know, Blade of the Ruined King plus a Giant belt in there for Wicked. I mean, if he'd have been the whole time in that fight, he could have had a very different outcome.
I think, yeah, I agree with you. I think it definitely would have been. It would have been quite a different outcome for EG. And Froggen, he got jumped on. There's some good protection. And if they can keep going at it like that, Yellow Pete was just sitting there attacking, free attacking the entire time. Did Wicked steal that?
Well, Wicked was trying to steal it away, and Godbro just walked in there and just blasted it, just took it away anyway. There is blue buff being given over to Froggen. We were watching that about 20 seconds ago, taking him a little bit of time to get the damage down to pick up that blue. Rocket of the Iron Solari is now finished for Snoopy as well as he goes through, trying to get in on towards Deficio. And that's the problem. They have a good amount of knockups and stunts here, this EG team. They've got a lot of crowd control. Yeah,
they do, and it's all dependent on Krepo if he can land it perfectly. I mean, if he gets a knock-up on a 3 or 4 members, it's just as good as landing a Cataclysm on a 3 or 4 members. You really create a nice opportunity. Obviously, Tenacity doesn't defend against that, and it really gives Yellow Pete the opportunity, as well as Froggen, to land their entire combos of burst on the enemy team.
That's a red buff being stolen away, and it's started already here with that middle and bottom outer turrets gone down. EG just starting to stranglehold them, and as I talk about it, Froggen with the laser straight over towards that blue buff and steals that one away.
That was blind. That was completely blind still right there. Great job by him.
Well, he saw him going around on the ward there.
True, but he didn't have the health on the goal, which it ended up working out quite well for him, which Froggen to do. And just overall, I mean, Froggen's really stepped up. After he got first blooded, he's been able to get back in the game with his items. His CS, he's still very close right now to Bjergsen. And he's really, he really proves why you need to focus Froggen down in the game to really keep EG out of it.
Yeah, very much a key player for the Evil Geniuses lineup. Dragon has spawned, by the way. Krepo running that Oracle right now. Did Copenhagen Wolves learn from that last time? It looks like they did. As the Glitterlance comes over into the bush, they spot Krepo, and they won't be face checking this time around. The pink board down to get rid of that one. Froggen trying again to land his combo on Deficio, which I think would have a different outcome to what we saw in the last time around, now that he's got that Zhonya's in there unfinished.
Smart play by Wolves right now, though.
Yeah.
Instead of going for Dragon, they know they're not going to contest it, so they're going for the turret instead.
Yeah, they're going to take that one. Of course, EG do manage to pick up the Dragon on their way through, and it looks like Snoopy's trying to get in there, going to get slowed down by the hail of arrows. And he won't get in there for a target, but EG now have control. Bjergsen is actually up by the red buff to try and steal that one away.
He's really trying to go for that split push. It seems like he's trying to carry the game himself, but he knows they can't really team fight at this point. They need to get a couple more items. The test has to get a little bit stronger for them to do this, but still, he's trying to strangle them. As it, I don't even know what that was for right there. That
was for the red buff.
Oh, okay, just checking if it was still
It's
there.
a little bit too slow that time around, though. It was gone about 20 minutes earlier. So, 22 minutes into the game, 5-4 in kills for EG. 3,000 gold lead, really not that much at this point.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, they've been trading dragons for turrets. Bjergsen's still trying to split push. I mean, look at the farm he has. 206 at this point. He's very far ahead of everyone on his team. And the really surprising thing is Godbro, 128 CS, which on a split pushing Shen that you would expect just a little bit more. I mean, he does have that Sunfire Cape done finally, so he will be able to split push a little bit quicker, but he needs to be
fair,
a little
though,
bit
he's not really been split pushing. That's the thing. It's been Bjergsen that was in that top lane pushing it through the entire time. There's EG here going inside of the jungle. Look at the amount of pings coming down there. Crepo going to clear out that one ward, and Bjergsen and Wicked going to go head-to-head here on that top side. Stun comes down. Wicked actually will use his ultimate here, and he fancies his chances against Bjergsen, but, well, Zed. But well Zed. Oh, the laser comes across. Froggen trying to get in there, and Zed, he's going to have to back away as quickly as he can here. Is he going to have the timing to do it? There is the stop, and he actually managed to get through. Yellow Pete, obviously, though, after that damage, picks up the kill. But in the meantime, the Wolves are pushing onto this inner middle turret. They'll be happy with that exchange if they can get away from this one. Crepo going to flash through, and he pulverizes the nothing.
Pulverizes and nothing happens, but that was, so overall, just a great job by Bjergsen. He was able to take Wicked on head-to-head. The rest of the team at UG came up to try to kill him. He was able to stop anyone else from getting assists besides Wicked right there, but he delayed them long enough for Wolves to make a play on the middle lane. They got that turret very low, wasn't able to get it, but still, the damage was done. Copenhagen Wolves coming out ahead in that trade.
Wow, Yellow Pete is actually chasing in towards Godbro here. Can he follow this one up? There is another shadow dash away, but with Jarvan coming in around the side as well, Godbro may have a bit of a bad time on his hands. There is a knock-up coming in. Godbro in all kinds of trouble. Is he going to be able to escape this one? Yes, he is. Stan United used on... Oh, there's a laser down the middle. I'm wondering why did he pick the guys in middle that were close to everyone else from EG?
I think it was probably like an
reaction. Better press on someone.
Yeah, exactly. But I was actually expecting him to flash just to get away from the red buff of Graves, but still worked out well for him. The ultimate is down, so he can't split push at all right now. You can't really apply any global presence, but I think you'll take that over losing a person and potentially losing like your bottom turret, which already is low on health.
You see more wards down side of the jungle. Crepo actually stood right on top of one here. And that could be fairly dangerous. He continues through. Snoopy gonna move in as well. Both Yellow Pete and Froggen are coming up from that bottom side. It looks like they want to make a play on this bottom inner turret right now. And Crepo coming around the side, shadow dash away, but he's managed to get in there with a combo onto the test. Can they get the finish here? Varus ulti comes in. They switch around here. Wicked taking the damage, pops his ulti on, and they back away. No kills from that one, but EG have done the job, which is getting in on that turret. In the meantime, Bjergsen is still pushing his top lane, though, and has taken the inner turret himself.
Yeah, Expeke doing a great job in that top lane, and yes, I meant to say that because that's all he did last game. He's doing it right here. He's able to get the turret and match it 1-to-1. And he's getting so strong because he's been able to split push. He's level 16 now to Froggen, who's 15, so he has that rank 3 ultimate. It's going to be a key factor in these fights, and he should be able to take anyone on 1v1 right now. Even Wicked, who was able to pick up that Warden's Mount, even pick up a Chain Vest right after that.
It looked like Bjergsen was going to try and trap him on the way out there, but everyone that was in that position from EG was healthy enough to stay alive. Bjergsen going to go home. He must have a nice pile of cash on him at this point. Okay, 1,200, not the largest amount that you might expect, but it's enough to send that Brutalizer through into the Black Cleaver.
Going yet again, a little bit early right there, as no one even started that blue buff. Looks like EG will be able to take it away and secure that over to, I believe that will go to Crepo for the cooldown reduction. But that's a good steal away from them. It goes to Jarvan, looks like. Oh no, Yellow Pete instead. So It was a good steal away, but not really. It doesn't really matter in the end when you have 2 energy champions. Bjergsen's been split pushing this entire time. I mean, Wolves, they don't want to go for a fight. They want to keep letting Bjergsen do this, keep getting farmed up, keep getting the items they need. But I have a feeling EG, with their lineup, they can force a fight that Copenhagen Wolves won't be able to back out of.
Yeah, Wolves actually headed over here towards that inner turret, which they did a lot of damage onto earlier on. They know that they need to keep Yellow Pete alive in this one. If Zed decides on going in, it's going to be a lot of damage coming down very, very quickly. More wards being put in position. 40 seconds for the next dragon to come in play.
And the problem that the Wolves are having right now is they're being forced to split push because they have 3 melee champions to potentially take a turret down. And you can't be a melee champion when there's an Alistar on the other team. He can get that nice initiate onto you and get you caught. So they're being forced to do this. They're being forced to try to pick someone off of EG and then try to go for a push and 5v4 that fight.
Well, there's a combo coming through from Frog and Wicked trying to get in there to stun Bjergsen up, but that didn't quite land either. Are they going to force them away? Actually, Sin has left there. Godbro is going to be finally getting into that split push in action, going down in towards the bottom lane. Does have Stand United available, so with EG headed south, it's going to be more towards Dragon from them, rather than going to protect that bottom lane. And, well, actually, Godbro did just back away, thinking, oh, wow, they're coming down for me, I better get back here without using Stand United. And actually, they were going for that Dragon. But look at this, Copenhagen Wolves. Wolves are moving up towards the Baron area. Are they going to go for it? Obviously, they were spotted there. Deficio clearing out the ward, and they're going to back away again. Zed is going to get into the split push again.
Because Krepo had that Oracle, they were able to deny that vision and really get that dragon free. Wolves weren't sure exactly where they went, so they could have made a play if they wanted to on that middle lane, pushing up very quickly, getting that turret down since it was so low. But that was a great job by Krepo. I think that was his 2nd Oracle of the game so far. He's really been denying quite a bit of vision and really being impactful. As you saw, first what happened, it's been kind of snowballing for him. He's had that extra gold income to really set up his team.
So we've had a couple of items being bought up here. We've got Rando Inzoman along with that Blade of the Ruin King now for Wicked. Sunfire Cape on Jarvan with Snoopy. Rabadon's Death Cap added in for Lux as well. On the other side, though, we also have the Aegis being finished off there by Zinners. Bjergsen waits here for Wicked to make a move out. Actually, Krepo is off to the side, but is he going to be able to come in quick enough to save Wicked? There is the ultimate put down. Bjergsen going to get exhausted. Can he get light binded up? No, the laser will miss as well. They're going to throw everything at Bjergsen here. Shen coming up. There's a Cataclysm. He will actually taunt himself out of that one, but Bjergsen might not be so lucky. Good pulverize coming down. Actually, Godbro did manage to take out Wicked in the end, and he's going to dash off towards middle. In the meantime, Copenhagen Wolves going for an inhibitor turret here. They need to make a good decision on this. Do they stay or do they go? And they're going to go.
It doesn't matter in the end. EG sent up 5 members just to defend against that Bjergsen split push. They ended up getting the kill on him. Wicked died in the end because of Godbro. I was a little confused why he was ulting up there, but he stayed alive anyways. They got a middle turret off it. They got the inhibitor turret very low. A smart play overall by the Wolves. And this game is not over at all.
You're not wrong with that one.
Well, I mean,
it's definitely...
It's an EG game, first of all, but it's still very close right now because the split push is working out so well for them.
Yeah, it is, and you're exactly right with that, and Zed has been making waves in his top lane. Yeah, okay, he's got caught out there as we are going to see them going onto it. Paras ulti goes down. There is the ulti out of Zinchao with a laser comes across. Godpro and Svenskeren both going very low. And where's the damage from Copenhagen Wolves? Snoopy was down to half. Finally, they focus on Yellow Pete, who almost took Svenskeren with him there in the end. But almost is not good enough, and that's a 1-for-0. Dangerous dive coming in from EG that cost them.
Yeah, that was such a ballsy play out of Wolves in general, just to engage upon that. I didn't really expect EG to continue to go for it, but they pick up that kill. Bjergsen was very close to being up, but they didn't care anyways. So now we have, we're 31 minutes into the game, Joe. We have really long death timers now. I believe we had about a 40-second death timer right there. It's getting to that point where if you do get picked off, the other team can make a huge amount of plays.
Oh, there's a laser coming in here as well. Krepo might be in trouble. Bjergsen actually going to go down towards Frog, and Godpro actually going to be stuck in there as the Zhonya's is used, and the Cataclysm comes down. But here comes the test from the side. He's managed to get away as Jarvan dies. Wicked going low, but they don't follow in from that one. And that's another 1-for-0. Bjergsen, how did he get out of that one alive? And I just want to point out from that last fight, the test killed Yellow Pete and got a 500 gold bounty.
Wow, that's a really good point to mention, because that's a lot of gold he needed to get back in this game. And I really want to know, did Bjergsen eat his Wheaties today? Because he has been playing phenomenal in this game. He stayed alive with a sliver of health, was able to escape, and now apply pressure onto this bottom turret. Every time he ults in on Froggen, he's forcing him to use that Zhonya's, which makes him vulnerable, because you have to use it before that timer runs out. And if you're in a bad position when you have to use it, you're going to die from the Zed ultimate, or you're going to die from the team being right on top of you when you have the Zhonya's.
Yeah, and I wrote this on Twitter earlier that Wolves are looking impressive, and they're showing another great performance here from this one, as we see Varus goes back home, picked himself up the Infinity Edge, and we are, by the way, bang level on gold. 32 minutes in, 8-7 in kills in favor of the Wolves, 6-5 in turrets in favor of the Wolves. You know, this is their game right now.
And what's something that Keem just happened, we see the Wolves just did, Bjergsen picked up the blue buff away from EG. He picked up his own as well, so now Froggen doesn't have that cooldown reduction. He doesn't have any cooldown reduction at all in his items. He's going to be hurting, or not hurting, he's going to be not hurting, that's the point, in these fights, because he won't have that ultimate up quick enough.
Well, he'll be hurting, but only once, I think, is the problem. Rather than maybe more times if he had that cooldown reduction coming in. Just seen Bjergsen push that top lane out. Middle lane going to be pushed through here as well. What are EG going to go for? Bjergsen has just picked up a last Whisper. Going to be added into the Black Cleaver and Blade of the Ruined King that he already has. Shen, Randuin's Omen, Sunfire Cape, I mentioned already, the Locket, and the Aegis for Xin Zhao. Overall, you know, the plays that they've been putting together here, Copenhagen Wolves, they're worthy of a 5th spot.
Yeah, I mean, even higher than that potentially, because they're taking on a number 4 team, but was pretty much the 2nd team in Europe over in Season 2. And the split push, I was really skeptical about it at first, but it's been working out just perfectly for him. We do have EG though, they're going for a 5-man push, no, a 4-man, as Krepo finally does join in with a 5-man push onto this mid turret, and they could lose Inhibitor.
Here comes Cataclysm, but Varus turns around, he's got Wild Growth on him, but he's caught in there. He's gonna go down to Froggen. They can't afford this to happen here, Copenhagen Wolves, but nonetheless a good move from EG. They're gonna put the pressure on towards that Inhibitor turret. Bjergsen is still going.
4-man, as Krepo finally does join in with a 5-man push onto this mid turret, and they could lose.
They're going to put the pressure on towards that Inhibitor turret. Bjergsen is still going, but this Inhibitor is going to go down. Godbro is trying to push the bomb. EG are going to keep going for this one. We are going to see Godbro come back. Bjergsen is going to keep going. And Svenskeren dives in there. There's Stan United coming in. He's going to be pulverized. The taunt comes across, but they've already lost one Nexus turret here. Can they hold on to the second one? They turn it around. Snoopy going very, very low. Can they get in there to finish this one off to Fischio? Going to get the slowdown. Svenskeren dives in towards Krepo. There's the knock-up. Taunt comes in onto Wicked as well. They're trying their best to run away. Krepo uses the flash to gain some ground there, and they keep going. They keep dashing in there. But here's the laser turning it around. Godbro gonna die, and now Svenskeren in trouble as Snoopy turns it around, and this is gonna be surely a death for Bjergsen. He doesn't get a kill either on his way, and Yellow Pete just about surviving it there, right in the end of things. That's 2 men down. EG are still very low here. I don't expect them to go in yet. They're going to turn around and run for it.
What a crazy battle of action right there. We saw Bjergsen's pushing that top lane, but they realized, crap, we have to get back. They're pushing our Nexus. They can't easily take it away. They were able to get the top inhibitor turret, and Bjergsen, when he did back, unfortunately didn't have home guard boots. He might have been able to get up there to pick up a kill or two, but as you're seeing right now, EG going for Baron, and this should be a free Baron, but it looks like the test, and Svenskeren coming around to kind of contest it here.
Yeah, they're going to come in there. Is Krepo waiting inside of the brush. The laser going to come. Svenskeren and a fish. Crazy turn this game has taken.
And the point of that entire engagement right there, they lost 1 member, but they kept them off Baron. That was the key point. They don't want a Baron up 5-member EG team coming right at them, or it will just dominate them. So now the Wolves, they have the test down. Bjergsen is finally back up. Looks like he's starting to finally build a little bit tanky here as he has that Ruby Crystal, but still the Wolves, they're in a very sketchy spot at this point. And we see EG, I mean, they were so low after that fight, they had to back out, even though they were kiting perfectly. Bjergsen just, if he was, I have to say, if he had home guard boots and came in there a little bit quicker, I think they could have aced EG.
And I don't know if, I actually just rewinded on your PC there to see how Yellow Pete stayed alive at the end there.
Hit a ward,
yeah, he lifesteal off the ward. Pretty sick.
Right,
pretty
please.
sick stuff. So we are going to see Dragon going down now by Evil Geniuses. Let's take a look at where they are. The crowd are in full singing mode. It's the guys with the pig head singing. They're leading the chants here inside the Zenith Arena. Well, this turning out to be an absolutely brilliant game. As that blue buff going to be gifted over to Froggen. Now he's in the process of breaking things down on where we stand. 11-9 in kills to EG. 52.3 to 51.7 gold. Nothing at this stage. 7-7 in turrets. We're almost 40 minutes into this one. I'm not sure if you really want to answer this question, Jason, but who's in the lead right now?
So we have a game going on here, Joe. in the lead, I will give it to EG, and I will try to give you my thought process behind that. They got the middle inhibitor down. They got one Nexus turret down. If Bjergsen ever goes to split push, they can barrel down that mid lane as long as they keep the top lane pushed out, barrel down the mid lane, and finish the game. So they pretty much denied that split push capability out of Bjergsen until that inhibitor comes back up. And that's really going to create a lot of problems for Wolves because that's what's been working so well for them this entire game.
So, Baron is available for the taking. What are we going to see? Flag comes down into this corner brush. That's going to give vision for EG. They know that Copenhagen Wolves are coming across. Bjergsen going to get caught. There comes a laser, but he's expertly dodged that one, and they turn it around. They're going for this one. In comes Stan United. The Varus ulti will lock Snoopy down. His polymorph, he's got nothing to work with there as the Randuin's Omen is used. Are they going to go for next? Svenskeren taking a lot of damage. Krepo is low in the middle of them as well. There is the ultimate, the Cataclysm, locking them up, but EG are all super low in this one. The Test is full HP there at the back. He's doing a lot of damage, but they dive in. Pulverize will knock him down. Double kill. Can he lifesteal it back? No, he can't. Wicked is now chasing down Deficio. He's one of two men left alive. Shen is running towards middle. Froggen will try and head him off, but Wicked should be able to lock up this kill here onto Deficio. Yeah, he's going to go top side to try and delay this for as long as physically possible, but there are super minions coming into the base here. They're going to be focusing on that Nexus turret, the single Nexus turret that's left. They're going to look to maybe finish this one out. Deficio's still in the bush. Wicked goes in there. He will pull him off, kill him, goddammit. He's actually just holding him back. He doesn't want him to get the respawn coming in there afterwards. This is smart play from Wicked. Froggen, in the meantime, is going to be on the Nexus itself. Godbro going to get locked up by him. The inhibitor respawns in behind him. I can't believe that that's happened here. Godbro is going to get locked up once again. He's still chasing in towards Froggen. He finally killed Deficio off, by the way, in that top lane in the end. Froggen is going to die. No, he's not going to die. Godbro is still chasing. Here comes Bjergsen. There's the laser coming out, but Bjergsen will get the kill. Oh, my days.
What the hell just happened, Joe? With a long fight happening at bay, I guess we can start there. We had Svenskeren and Godbro just tanking up the entire enemy team of EG the entire time. Yeah, Bjergsen coming from the side, never got a good position off of that. So a 3-for-3 trade, but Deficio, I mean, he had to have been the inhibitor respawn was the MVP of that entire fight, but Deficio delaying Wicked long enough just to keep them pushed away. Wow. The inhibitor respawning, saving the Wolves. They probably thought the game was completely over right there, but they were able to turn that around, was able to keep their own base alive, and now are pushing down this middle lane.
I'm glad you remembered what happened at the start of that one, Jason, because there was too much awesomeness for my brain in that one. So, Copenhagen Wolves, they're pushing here up that middle lane. They need to be really careful now, because one mistake and it really is game over for them. But, I mean, we're 40 minutes in now. A mistake for EG can do the same. And look at this. Copenhagen Wolves have started off the Baron. Do they fancy their chances here in a fight? It looks like they do, but EG is going to be pushing straight down the middle. Wolves have to make a choice and make it now. We've already seen two of them recall. Third man recalling, but Wicked is going to be going in there. Snoopy will follow, and the rest of the team coming in. Froggen is a little bit further behind from this one, and I think Wolves are in a position to defend it. Krepo's going to try and push this top lane out for now, but they've managed to get in and catch Wicked. Bjergsen is onto Froggen in the middle lane as well, by the way, but Snoopy is going to go in here. We're going to see the fight kicking off on two angles. Can they get in and get the kill? Snoopy going low. Snoopy finished off by the Test. The Svenskeren and Godbro going on towards Wicked. Will he escape? No, he probably won't in the bottom side. And on the top side, Froggen is the last man alive almost here. It's only Krepo, but he's been focused down. This is not good for Evil Geniuses. They've not lost a single man. They've hardly lost any help. Froggen from being the man that could have won it if it wasn't for that pesky inhibitor, may be the man that has to save them now.
They have the time to, I think, take this game right now. The middle turret is so low at this point. They have 50 seconds left on the general members of all of EG. Frog is the only one to actually kind of defend this with the ultimate go to push the lane out a little bit, but Bjergsen, that last fight, so well played. He kept Froggen out of the fight the entire time, but just his presence and Copenhagen Wolves were able to capitalize off of it.
Bjergsen going straight in onto that top inhibitor. The inhibitor turret is going to be down here. It's the test that takes that one. Middle inhibitor goes down. 5 seconds is the spawn here for Snoopy. Copenhagen Wolves are going to back away from this one for now. They can go for Baron. They're definitely healthy enough. They've got the spawn time, and Froggen, though, has a laser, and we know how devastating he can be with that at any kind of range. Will the Wolves go for it? Will they set themselves up a trap? He's stood right on top of a ward right now, which Froggen may make use of here in just a second. Luckily for Bjergsen, he's backed away. Dragon's coming up in 10, but who cares about Dragon? Not me. And I don't think either of these teams either right now, as we are seeing them waiting. There is the Demacian standard coming in. They've seen the test. They know that Copenhagen Wolves are around here somewhere. And they back away. What are EG going to do? Are they going to go straight down middle again?
The thing is, the Wolves, they have to back out right now. Godbro, he needs to heal up. He has the ultimate to get it if he needs to, and he has the home guard boots, so right when he gets back, it'll be fine. But we have a bottom wave push up on that turret for the Wolves. Baron is just being stood around by, actually no, reduced to EG, finally going in for a start on it. Bjergsen's actually moving into the base right now. Could he go for a backdoor?
Well, Bjergsen is going to at least try and finish off this third and final inhibitor, the turret. He's got nothing left. EG has to back. They're not going to take Baron, and I think Bjergsen's going to have this inhibitor away. This is going to be a completely open base here for Evil Geniuses, but with those home court boots, they come in. Wicked gets in top of him. There's the laser. Bjergsen down to half. Flashes out. Yellow Pete uses a collateral damage, but can they chase in? Wicked's going to keep going. In the meantime, Wolves are over by the Baron. They've started that off, but Bjergsen is still very, very low. He needs to back, heal, and get back out there as quickly as he can, but Wolves are going to take the Baron. 43.5 minutes into the game, and now, well, now what, Jason? You tell me.
Exactly. We have Bjergsen. He has his home guard boots. We have 5 members now of the Wolves, finally with this Baron buff. The items really don't even matter at this point. It all comes down to position and how they set up this entire fight. The test is, in my opinion, completely going to out-damage Yellow Pete with that % health damage. He has the Last Whisper on top of that and the Infinity's Edge. He's getting so much protection as well. And Svenskar and Godbro can tank so much damage that EG can put out. Froggen doesn't really... The damage he has at this point doesn't really matter because everyone else on the Wolves are so tanky. As long as the test can dodge that light binding, they can just destroy EG at this point. They have 2 inhibitors down. They have the bottom inhibitor open. It's already low on life. And this is honestly Copenhagen Wolves' game to lose. They can just keep all those lanes pushed in, and they will have a giant advantage in these fights.
Wolves now, they're going towards that bottom side of the map. Those super minions starting to stream into the base. The Wolves, Baron buff on. There's the Oracle Elixir used to get rid of that EG vision, which the crowd here are loving, but at the end of this game, there's going to be the loudest moment of the tournament so far. Godpro gets himself caught there by the light binding. EG decide not to follow through with it just yet, though. The Wolves are still hanging around, though. They smell blood here, and they're going to go in for the kill on towards this inhibitor in just a second. The edge closer in. EG force them back off. We can see that Yellow Pete is having to fend off the super minions on that middle lane. Here we go. Crepo goes in there. This could be the last fight. Svenskar goes into the middle. Varus ulti goes down as well. Froggen uses the Zonias. Snoopy has to flash away. Will he survive? No, he won't. Bjergsen gets the kill. There's a laser coming in. It's a double kill for Bjergsen, though. They're moving further in. Bjergsen gets in with a light binding. Yellow Pete super low. The barrier not going to save him from that one. And the Wolves are going to focus in on towards the Nexus turret. First one goes down, second one will fall, and the Nexus itself goes down.